Oh, does my voice even work anymore? I don't know. Let me share this real quick. Get the links for everything put out there, and now we wait for Paul to join. Whenever he decides to get his dusty ass over here. Who knows? Maybe Paul just quit. I haven't talked to him in like a week. He could have damn well just threw in the towel. Pacers start losing, and all of a sudden he gets all sad. How we doing, folks? Paul be here in a minute. While we're waiting for him. Fuck. Tonight's gonna be a lay back and chill night. By lay back and chill, I mean me sitting back in the chair. Also, get used to me wearing green for the next 3 weeks, folks. Get used to it. It's gonna be a lot more than people probably thought they would see. Hey, Rambling FC, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. We are 3 followers away from 900. God damn. I don't know when Paul's going to decide to show up. What's funny is he just messaged me at, let me check my timestamp on this, 9:19 asking if we're good for 9:30. It is now 9:34. And he's not here. Note to self, kids. Having a kid might inhibit you from being on time to things. Possibly. What is Fred again? I don't know. New York wouldn't know. That's for sure. I mean, we would know, but like not everybody that camped out and couldn't get a ticket. Oh, man. Canada getting denied Lord Stanley's Cup. Oh, Lunar with the haymaker. I appreciate that. For those that don't know, the owner of FlyQuest is actually the owner of the Florida Panthers that just won the Stanley Cup. Also was part of like Trump's cabinet or some shit like that, but regardless. It's a wild time. It's a wild time. Did I camp out? No, I absolutely did not camp out for that. If I can't guarantee that I'm going to get a ticket, I'm not going to shit like that. Absolutely not. If it's a pop-up that you can just like walk up and go to, fine. But like a pop-up where you're waiting to see if you can even get a ticket, come on now. Like absolutely not. He's alive.
Sounds connected.
There, oh wait, he's using his fancy mic instead of his headset.
No, I'm using the headset.
Huh? You sound different.
There, this is my headset.
I was gonna say that's your headset. I know the difference between the two.
That was my webcam mic. I don't know why it was sounding so good. Maybe because I'm close to it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
wild
we do the
though.
webcam mic one day.
That's wild. The quality difference between the mic the camera that you were trying to get rid of, and your microphone on your $100 headset.
It sound that good?
It sounded pretty damn good. Whatever happened to your
I
old
can go
mic, by
back
the way?
to it. I still have it. I just don't have enough plugs, and I don't like plugging it in.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
I can plug it in real quick.
No,
I have enough.
Don't
I
stretch
just
yourself
don't use
out. Like, I don't really give a shit. I just found it funny. Because I thought, dude, the quality sounded similar at first. I was like, what?
Let me do some finagling and thinking.
Try and, like how you're trying to finagle a way for Indiana to actually stay in this finals, or have you given up?
They're still in it.
With Halliburton hurt?
Yep.
You sure about that, Chief?
We haven't lost a game 5 or 6 or a game 6 or 7 in 2 years. No reason to start now.
And Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are going to be at your game tomorrow, apparently.
Are they?
Yep.
What brings them in?
Well, didn't Caitlin Clark like go to didn't she go to a bunch of shit with Travis and Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, and then like the connection to Indy was kind of made that like in an event like this they come by for finals or some shit. I don't know.
Beats me.
To Con's
Would
point,
this be this
Whoa.
mic?
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay. Is that a lot different?
It's fairly different, yeah.
Okay. We'll run with it.
Actually turn you down a little bit because I think you might be a little bit loud.
Oh. We'll run with it and see where it takes us.
There we go. But you're not worried? Really? I mean, you got to be
No.
at least a little bit.
No, because I mean, it's kind of just is what it is. If they lose, it's not like it's a problem. Like, the thing is, I think it's wildly accepted that Game 4 was rather poorly officiated. It seems like everybody's accepted that.
The equalizer
So-
struck again.
Yeah, we haven't won a game with Scott Foster in a long time, and it stands. But everyone seems to accept that that was refed against us. And then, like, now we have the excuse that we just got hurt. So I don't really feel that bad because it's like, what are people going to do? They can't clown on us.
No.
Like, we kind of went really far, and so that's like, at worst, people are like, you choked at the very end, which I don't care.
Yeah.
And at best, we pull off the upset, which is still possible.
Would
I
you
still feel like there's something there.
Would you say so far through 5 games that your series against the Knicks was more entertaining than the series against OKC?
I don't know, because I feel like
you have to factor out like the weight of obviously finals versus like just from an
feel like
objective
this
basketball standpoint.
I feel like this one has been more competitive between the two than the Knicks Pacers series, but the Knicks Pacers series was more fun. So yeah, I would say it was more entertaining. I think Knicks Pacers is more entertaining just because of the Knicks Pacers like lore.
Yeah,
and everything that built up to.
That my thing was I've watched less of the games now because it's on ABC and I'm not paying for cable and I'm not paying for Hulu Live. So I'm not watching the games live this time around, which kind of sucks. But the bits that I have seen, it has that finals energy, but it doesn't feel like that extra oomph, like quite simply put, Pacers and Knicks are rivals. And having that rivalry kind of heat there feels like it makes a pretty tangible difference.
It does. I think also, I don't know what lunar means. We're complaining about our injury. Or crying. We're just like sad about it. I don't know what you want us to be. Like, I mean, that's a lot of talk from a Bucks fan who they've spent the past like 3 years since they won a championship whining about injuries.
And are now losing their guy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry we didn't get to play Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, really world beaters. Like, that really sucks. And Devin Booker, a known like unstoppable force. Like the Suns didn't even have an MVP. At least we're playing an MVP. Like, I what do you want me to do? We didn't just run through a bunch of scrubs. We actually went through good players. Like, my bad. I don't know what you want us to do.
I don't
I
know.
mean, we're playing one of only uh I think there are like 12 teams in NBA history that have gotten to 80 wins through regular season and playoffs.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what people want me to do.
That's
Like,
what
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I'm gonna be like, I still think we got a chance because it's the finals. But also, like, what do you want me to do? Be mad about this outcome? I'm very happy that we're a relevant organization. Like,
it sounded like me when I had to defend the LTA a bit after finals
mhm.
because I posted the backdoor clip and people were like, how could you lose a game like this? I was like, guys, just shut. What do you want from us? We're providing entertainment. Like, what? We
Yeah,
went to a game 5. It was incredible. Like, what do you want? Like, what else can we do for you? We can't just magically be the LCK all of a sudden. Like,
I
this is
know.
like, fuck.
That was a perfect Lunar response, by the way. How about you win an in-season tournament for once? That I can't even hate that. That is perfect response to what I just said. But that was something that was funny. Reading all the people being like, "This is such what is it? Like, this is such a in a final. Like, this is so bad." And I was like, "Bro, that was like one of the most entertaining like best of fives you could have asked for
Yep.
on a finals weekend. Like, what more do
Oh,
you want out of this?"
it was so because
Like,
it felt like it was doomed for FlyQuest. Like after that
it
game
did.
3, I did not think it was gonna happen at all. Like I thought it was done and dusted. FlyQuest just looked
Mhm.
kind of out of it for whatever reason. Like I don't quite know how to explain it, and especially that game 5 draft. I'm just sitting there thinking, what the fuck is this? Like what is happening here?
Yep.
I cannot believe they won game 5. I really like it. To me, that shows how strong they are as a team relative to C9. To me, the
Yeah.
argument has been like I wanted FlyQuest to go, and I know I'm saying this as I'm wearing the fucking FlyQuest shirt. I'm going to sound like a shill. All right, I understand this from the jump, but I wanted them to go international for a multitude of reasons. One of which being the rematch against Gen G. Two, because I feel like their
Yep.
style can weirdly hold up if things get weird at an international event. If as C9 drafting standard you can't beat that game 5 FlyQuest draft, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Yeah. And I mean, what do you like? What more could you ask for from a series and from like getting to see limit testing at its ultimate like limit test moment? Because FlyQuest, even with the Gragas, goes full AP.
Yeah.
Like Whippo's like, ah, shoot, you know. And honestly, for a minute, I was like, that's dumb. But then the longer the game went, I was like, it actually does make sense. Like, you're at this point, it's not like he's tanking. Like, he could go full tank. He's still gonna die in 3 seconds, anyways. So you might as well just buy into what the identity of the comp is. And I was like, they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly how you would hope. And I mean, it was hilarious watching J4
Yeah.
just
That,
running at like Blabber just running at Masu. There is very funny.
I need to know with him. Like the to okay. I think this is actually going to go down as a pretty monumental clip in Blabber's history where we will look back at this the same way that we look at Sven's no Quicksilver Sash. Sorry to bring up TSM so early on
You're
this.
good.
But I can't in my right mind rationalize why he did it other than just the acknowledgement of nerves in the moment. Like that's it. And I'm just like, I feel bad. Look, sometimes you make those mistakes, but like,
Yeah.
that's a terrible time to do it. Like the second he did that, I was thinking like, okay, this is equivalent to the Jensen no flash, no ult on Echo. Like whenever he just
Yep.
got popped by Bjergsen. This is equivalent to the Sven Quicksilver Sash moment. I think those are like the two most major like caught out moments or like bad moments where it's just like, but this one's different because it's like he did it himself. Like it's not like he just put himself, like it's one thing to like be out of position with like lack of information. Like he kept walking, knowing that his team was not there.
And
That's
it's
wild.
hard because like the play before Thanatos goes in way too early on the Cassante, but survives because Cassante's so tanky and like barely survives. I mean, they plopped a ton of healing, and Blabber ultimately is the guy who saves him and saves the day and makes the thing happen. And then the next play doesn't work, but it also is like, well, you can't do what you're doing to get in that way because as the game goes on, the damage dealers are just going to deal more damage. Like there becomes a point where being tanky isn't enough, and they just kill you really fast if they have a pretty much 5 damage comp. So you're kind of sitting there going, okay, when is this time coming? And the time gets there, and yeah, it just falls apart essentially. And yeah, Victor.
I'm trying to only count LCS moments because like the double of Victor thing was international, so like that's different. Like I'm trying to like distinguish LCS North American history on this one.
Yeah, I would say that the Jensen Chrono Break is the only other one.
That's the only one I could think of because there's not many moments I can think of that like
no,
it was egregiously bad that somebody gets like caught out. The Kiki brought up the Cody Sun Tristana, but was that in finals? I don't think it was in finals.
I don't know. I just know like if we're thinking things that defined a career,
yeah,
like I would say Jensen Chrono Break goes there because it took him essentially leaving like C9, going to TL, and then winning a bunch with them to break the idea that he's just a choker, a permanent choker.
Yeah.
And like can't eat the big moment. I mean ultimately he did, I would say, rebuild his career really, really well. But there's a reason anybody who was around for a long time in the scene versus people who were like later in joining holded Bjergsen so much higher.
Yeah.
I would say than Jensen. And like the newer you were, the more you could tell somebody like had never seen the Chrono Break moment because that really solidified in people's heads. Oh, Bjergsen owns him, and then the rest of the time happens, and I think it plays out pretty favorably for Jensen.
Lunar brings out the Danny Pentakill, and that was the Santorin smite moment. But I will say, I think the reason why reason why Santorin is not blamed for that is because of the time thing. The Baron healing at that one random point in time that now we're all aware of. But like would like you can't, it's not that you don't blame them. They could know that, but like it's different where I don't know that like to me, that's in a whole different category. Danny getting that pentakill is just amazing as is, but like, I feel bad for Blabber. I do. Like C9 should have won that game. C9 should absolutely have won game 5.
Yeah,
and
him just running. I think what makes it tough is it looks like anyone in ARAM playing with their friends. Or ranked or anything like that could have been in any rank person just running forward on an engage that's failing.
Yeah.
And like then tilt dying essentially. I mean, because that's what it is. Like that's kind of how that looked. So you're just sitting there like, man, that sucks. Like that's really tough. But it is like one of those, luckily his resume isn't too bad. So
yeah. And it
doesn't kill it as bad.
I'm curious to see what happens now. because we are now at that
Yeah.
point where we can confidently say Blabber's versions of C9, not necessarily Blabber himself, even though he has this moment, but Blabber's versions of C9 are choking in finals and are even choking prior to getting to these moments ever since 2023. That it's like
Yeah.
a year and a half might not sound like a lot, but
Well, we're on year 2 now, aren't we? Like, this is officially year 2
yeah, this is year 2 of it.
of losing. So unless summer split, they turn it around. Now, I will say, if the idea of fatigue teams happens, if you believe in metal fatigue, and they win EWC, I think that would cement him like all timer, like he just stays forever.
Yeah.
Like, but that's a complete
Yeah.
joke kind of idea, fantasy world. But the I do think it's tough. I don't know where you really go with Cloud9
If
from
you're
here, because
if you're
the
C9, you
roster's
stick it
good
out.
enough.
You 100%.
Yeah, the roster's
you do
definitely
not
good
change
enough.
Blabber until like there's a notable fall off in mechanics. Like
No, I'm thinking like next year if you don't win it all this year.
That's tough. I don't know. Because
I know I'm jumping the gun though.
No, but I mean I'll say it now. Sven's playing the best I think I've seen him play in a long time.
Yeah, he's
Time.
definitely shut me up, or at least he's answered my call of like my idea of can he do it?
Yeah.
Can he still be that guy? It turns out yes he can.
It's weird because it's like I still feel like even though Sven is that guy, because they're not really like playing through him in the same way that like TL will play through Yawn. Like he's definitely that guy. But like if you shut down Thanatos, you still shut down C9. It seems like. Like I don't know. As for does Blabber move on? Oh, hang on. This is actually an interesting question. What is global contract database? What is Blabber's current deal? Because I know C9 loves to sign their players to massively long contracts. And I doubt that Blabber is going to be a free agent. Just because like that's not what
Piggybacking off of the Thanatos thing, it is tough. That it seems like Thanatos is like either he can carry or it's kind of just cooked for them, essentially. It feels like they can't do too much outside of the Thanatos carry. And it's weird because even if Sven has a good game, for some reason they just can't turn like bottom lane into this like quantifiable thing. Now Loki game 3 did just like man mode them through, and that made me happy to see because when that happened, I mean already I was I guess in the mindset of we have ourselves a series, but like I was sitting there thinking, man, Loki really is that guy. Or no, I'm thinking of the Shopify one when he just Silas killed everybody.
Oh no, yeah, that was.
But also,
but he did have a good finals.
Game 2 and 3, he had a great finals, and I'm just thinking like, man, this could really happen. Like Loki's looking really good, Thanatos is still looking really good. Bippo's having an off day, which you could honestly say, is he having an off day or is Thanatos just better? I mean, there's an argument there.
I think it's one where when Thanatos looks good, Thanatos is going to look monstrously better than Bwippo based on the style that they play. Whenever Bwippo is playing better than Thanatos, it's not going to look like Bwippo's playing fucking insane. He's just going to nullify him and neutralize him. And like that's a great day and a great thing for Bwippo. And like that's enough.
Yeah. It's true.
Masu looked great, in my opinion.
Masu did look really good. Honestly, I have no idea if Thanatos becomes good, he'll just go to Korea. I have no clue on that. I mean, there is a possibility. If you want to get paid, it's not here, but Korea also won't pay you. So I really know if you're competing in Korea, it's because it's for the love of the game at this point with their salary cap. But it's I don't know.
The other thing I want to I want to contextualize the conversation to a certain extent. when we're talking about like C9's problems, it is C9's problem against one team. And only one team. Like nobody else in this league is close to the level that C9 and FlyQuest are on right now.
Yes.
Like they're a
That's
ballpark
true.
ahead, which is why like I'm really happy that they're going to Esports World Cup. Because I think that will help them a lot if they have a good tournament or have a good run, even though the format's shit for Esports World Cup and it's literally just 3 days. Like it'll be different. But we'll see. But FlyQuest continues to be the team for us.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like Fly is those guys who can rise up. I feel tough for C9 because I mean Split 1, like I mean TL just had a monstrously high rise for no reason, apparently. Now that we've seen it from here, it was just for no reason at all. They did that. And which some people would argue the AC situation, but that's another thing. And then this split, the fact that our region moves to one team now, just at the toughest time for you, and FlyQuest happens to be very upset because they missed out on first stand, that just stinks for them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like even when C9 had that huge advantage game 5 in COP, I would think it just seems like FlyQuest is a better team if they're playing playing well. Because I'm not gonna lie, Inspired game 5 looked really bad. Like game 4 Inspired wills them to victory, and I'm typing in the chat, I'm wrong about Inspired, he's the best in the West. And then game 5 happens and I'm like, never mind. He is one of the top 3 in the West, I would say. But he's
I don't
not the best
think
in
that
the
comp
West.
gave him any
It
leniency.
didn't
So
give
like
him
that's
much
my thing
help.
is where it's like game 5 was just one of those that like I'm not gonna judge anybody on FlyQuest for how they played that because that comp is so stupidly hard to play. The fact that they won that game alone is like
That's
enough
fair.
for me to be like, okay, yeah, did Inspire play that game great? No. As Lunar noted, he called the back door, which is already enough there. But just like that's one of those games where like I'm trying to think of a sports comparison where like it's not flow state. Flow state is when you're playing so well that everything just comes natural. But it's one of those where okay, I saw How to Train a Dragon, both the animation and the live action for the first time ever over the past week. Both fantastic, by the way. But you know that moment where he's holding onto the papers, they're like trying to fly toothless and like trying to like get it to work, and he just says fuck it and goes with pure intuition and figures it out. Like that's what game 5 to me for FlyQuest felt like, where it's like the second they did not get massively ahead early, even though they did get those kills on Bucio's Elise early, like it didn't really snowball into all that much. Once you got to the mid game, it's like, okay, let's start throwing shit against the wall. We got to figure out something. We're not giving up until it's over, but we got to start throwing shit against the wall. And like that's fine. Like I love that. I love that.
Yep. I think it's what you want to see. I mean, because we're honestly in that place where we can go, okay, if Fly's against like a good team at MSI and they have a worse draft, we know they can stick it out because C9 has prepped them to. I know people will say, oh, it's not the same level, place, whatever. We know they can stick it out mentally, which is what you want to know. And then the big thing is if they have a better draft than another team, we know they can put their foot on your throat kind of thing, which isn't bad at all. Like in game 4, I would say it was looking so close. And I was kind of sitting there like, man, I don't know how FlyQuest really gets through this because Loki's kind of playing out of his mind. And then Inspired does the move that I think like it wasn't shocking, I guess, but he does the right move and he fakes them out and he's playing mind games, and that's what made me go, I really like what I'm seeing, because he Nocturne R's Then Loki jumps over the wall on the Aurora, and then he R's onto the Aurora when C9 is thinking he's about to R probably into their backline or front line at the Dragon Pit. And he makes the different move, and then he flashes over the wall to stay with her and all that. Or he R's to her before she jumps over the wall, then he jumps over the wall, then he flashes to follow, and they kill Aurora. Which I'm like, yo, that's like a great move there.
Yep.
Like, eat the fake out and go with it and do the job and get the person you need dead. And then they absolutely stomp that fight and end the game. And I'm just sitting there thinking, dude, we actually have a guy. Like, he's playing really well there. He's really going in and kind of running them down and doing what we want to see.
Yeah. Now, what scares me is they didn't have a great MSI last year, but they did have a good world. So I'm really happy that we're sending them personally. I just think that FlyQuest has the best ceiling of anybody in NA to try and like step up and meet the moment here.
Yeah.
I also love that they dropped their fucking MSI jersey immediately after winning.
Yeah.
Like, had that shit on lock. I appreciate that more than anything. And I will say, keep an eye out on this channel for the next week and a half. That's all I'm saying on that front.
Do you think C9 learned a lot from last time? Like the last Worlds? And that they're going to actually have a pretty good run here?
What, for
Or how do you even have a good run?
You said C9.
With MSI. Or my bad, FlyQuest.
Okay, that's why I was like, huh?
I read chat and I read C9 and then said it.
Way to go.
That's my bad. Do you think there's even like a way to get hot at MSI?
Yeah, I do.
Like, how do they get hot? What do they have to do? Who do they play first? It's so hard to know. That format explainer, watched it multiple times. It was still like, I guess we're gonna end up playing this team. I think. Like,
okay, so let me pull this up because I've got the
who are like potential teams to play.
Well, here I can share my screen. Let me see if this will work. Let me download this real quick and open this up.
There's a reason UNC has always been the bottom 5 of GPA for athletes. We don't come to play school, buddy.
Let me go.
We probably are. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I took a lot of pride in Roy Williams going up to the NCA and saying, "You can't call our classes fake," because we had regular students take them too, which is.
Okay.
Got us.
There we go.
But we got out of it.
We
got out of it.
I think this shares everything. Okay. So Riot sent us this graphic as part of press for the different scenarios that we would draw into for this bracket, depending on who wins what. There's some cases where you can get draws, some cases where you cannot. But I think this pretty much sums everything up. And the likely scenario that we will see is the LEC 2 seed and LPL 2 seed get through. Like, that's the most likely because the LCP and Furia, the odds of Gam and Furia getting through are slim to none. So I would assume it's going to be this. In that case, we would play anyone's Legend round 1. And G2 would play Genji. MCoy would play BLG, and Flying Oysters would play T1. That would be the draw. And then I'm not sure how I don't know if it's just like we go directly into the loser bracket. So say like if we lose here, I think unless it flips, which I don't think it flips, we would play G2 and then it would flip.
What's scenario 3 no draw about? Like a draw isn't needed?
Yeah, because like in scenario 2, if the LCP or LPL draws, they can, or if that's who gets through, they can go in any slot of the options here.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing tying them, but because the LEC teams can't be on the same side of the bracket as each other, and same with the LPL teams, they're locked into one side versus the other.
I'm not gonna lie, that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get momentum in this.
I mean, honestly, the way you get
I guess you
momentum
just
is
gotta win.
but I think the likely answer is if you can pull off the upset against China, great, but you really don't. You lose that first one, you try and beat Europe. And getting that best of 5 win over Europe gives you momentum going into the next round, which will likely be it's going to be the East. Once you beat one European team, that's probably it. Like, honestly,
I
like
think if
it's
you
gonna be
get
your only
any of
chance.
those, why does it say LEC, LTAO2? Oh, they're talking about Brazil.
Yep.
I'm gonna assume that's impossible. I mean, if scenario 2 happens and we drew LCP1, I think then there's a world you can try to get. I know Flying Oyster is good,
Yeah.
but
I mean, MSI honestly is just not really a tournament where you get hot. Like, you don't get that chance. Like,
no.
MSI historically has just
Now with groups gone.
no. It's just like you get this you get the warm up in warm up, quote unquote, in lower bracket against a
Yeah.
European or LCP team. Like, that's realistically your answer, and that's it. Because what should happen typically, if Worlds formatting and logic applies, is that every Eastern team will win, and it just leaves the West and the LCP down below, and that's it. And then you have one series to warm up before you have to start facing the East. And if you want to make a run in this tournament, you got to be able to get hot against the East.
Yeah.
Got to be able to get something going that buys you time. That buys you multiple series.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know what level LPL's playing right now. I mean, I guess it's impossible to know, but
I'm just
I mean,
happy
if there's
we're not
anything
playing
we
Korea.
know
That's
from-
good. Thank God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to play any of the Korean teams at all.
I'm gonna assume it's one of those, like, if you get LPL though, it could be way worse than having to play LPL.
Yeah.
Because you could be playing either Korean team. And that's really all you want to avoid at this point.
Pretty much. And you just
LPL has proven to be beatable at worst in recent years.
The only thing that would make this a successful MSI, and I want to say most of the MSI talk for next week as just like a preview for that.
True. Yeah.
Given that we got like a ton of other shit that we could talk about this week. But I will say, I think a successful Worlds for us is beating Europe and just having at least one competitive best of 5 against Asia. Whether that's that first one or later, you'd rather it be later, but that's all I want. I think if we can do that, I'm fine. But you have to beat Europe. If we don't beat Europe, it's a failure of a tournament, period. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you play Europe, yeah, beat them. If you don't, whatever. If you lose to LCP though as well, I'm gonna throw them in there. That would make me 100%.
Sad. But I don't think we're gonna face them based on the bracket draw.
It doesn't look like it.
It looks like we will only be up against the likely pathways, anyone's Legends, G2, and it would be the loser from the probably from the other side, which would either be T1 or BLG.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
good luck. Have fun. I'm glad 100 Thieves is not in that position that I don't have to worry about it. I'd rather be there, to be very clear. But
honestly, are you more excited for MSI or EWC because there's more teams?
EWC.
I hate to say it. I kind of want to see
the format is so shit for EWC, and it's only
so
3
bad.
days. It's terrible.
It is super bad.
But the fact that there's 2 North American teams there honestly makes me more excited.
It's very interesting. There's so many teams at EWC.
So
they kind of
by
just
so
like,
many teams, it's literally like 1 more. I think or 2 more.
Yeah, it's 1 more from each region, though, right?
No,
it's 2 LEC. They added a Korean and a American.
Yeah, it's a second Korean team because T1 won last year, so they get to come back as like the winners.
Oh, okay.
So then
That's why they're letting.
Hama Life gets to go, and then C9 gets to go. So there's
Okay.
12 teams.
Okay. I mean, I just find that interesting. It's a big tournament. It's really big.
By the way, I kind of spoiled it, but do you know what the prize pool is for each of these? For MSI and EWC? Given that you don't get
No.
skins, so there's like no supplemental revenue there.
No.
$2 million each.
Whoa. So MSI matches EWC's prize pool?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Riot really said, okay, whatever, bro. We can match that.
I mean, and EWC, I'm
Crazy.
assuming, skews more towards the top than MSI does. MSI in general, like Riot events are more about prestige, so it's not like the money's a factor there.
They
necessarily.
capped EWC. That's how they did it. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean they capped?
Lunar is saying Riot like made EWC cap their prize
Oh,
pool, I
okay.
guess.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it was like 2 million last year too, so it's not like it's that different.
Well, I thought for a second Riot just went, how can we match oil money? And then they just drove to Texas in a car and went, how much can you give us? And Texas went, who are we trying to beat? And they went, the Middle East. And Texas went, hold up a second. And walked into a room and went, as much as you want. This is for America? No, to look as good as the Middle East? And they just went, how much do you need? I mean, them Texans don't play.
No, they don't.
They got high school football stadiums that'll make you re-envision your belief of American sports.
I mean, to put that into context for people, there are high school football stadiums that have bigger capacity than what we'll be filling out for finals by like triple digits.
Bigger than what we're going to in MSI.
Yeah.
Like they have high school football stadiums that go crazy, man.
Yeah. You know, fuck with Texas football. They take that shit seriously. Very seriously.
Yeah. That's always the one thing that kills me when people say American like fandom culture just isn't deep enough. I'm like, have you ever seen 100,000 people in Death Valley? Or 100,000 people in Happy Valley?
I really wanted to go see 10,000 people cheer on T1.
Yeah, that's
I wanted
true.
to do that, but you know,
that would be fun.
I don't know how much of that I'm allowed to talk about, but we'll save that for off stream.
Do you think T1 is like, yeah, this is just what we do, or there was a little bit like, I think Yoo-Hoo said it earlier that they just are running their summer jerseys. Like, do you think there was a little bit they were like, oh wow, we peaked this early? Okay, whatever. They just sent it.
The perception that I get, and I'm not revealing any DMs of anything, is that Joe Marsh was perfectly expecting this to happen.
Okay.
That's the perception that I get. So,
I mean,
on the message that I immediately got after not immediately, but the message that I got after they qualified, I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I know Hanwha won first stand, which seems like nobody cares about, so you might as well brush that off. But they gotta be pretty mad.
Oh, they gotta be heated. Oh.
They gotta be so mad at this.
And it's not even just like they lost, dude. That game 3 was one of the biggest statements that I've seen in a long time. And like they were like,
it was
to get Now here's my question. Here's like a thought experiment. Had Hanwha Life not choked that series versus Gen G, who wins Gen G versus T1? Because T1 looked fucking hot. Period. Doesn't matter who they were playing. Looked hot.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. Probably still. I want to go Gen G still, because Gen G is really good. But at the same time, like I think that would have also been a great series. It just sucks they don't do a final, man.
Well, okay. So here's my thought. Okay, and here's Riot once again. You know, flirting with disaster. All right, similar to the music video from last year, Heavy as the Crown, and T1 nearly not making it to Worlds.
Yeah.
The LCK and Riot knew that it would probably be 2 Korean teams in the finals at MSI and said, fuck it, we don't need a finals. Our finals is MSI. And it'll be Gen G and T1 in the finals at MSI.
That's a fair idea, I
Because
guess.
then did you really need an LCK champion if the champion is your MSI winner? Which I, again, still am of the opinion that you still needed it. But I'm just saying, like, you know somebody's thinking in their mind, like, if this ends up this way, fuck everybody that was like, oh, you needed a final. It's like all that did was build up hype for MSI.
Yeah.
And by the way, to be very clear, Canada and the US is going to give that an insane fucking crowd for that final.
Yeah.
I hope.
They are.
Otherwise, the Pacific Northwest should never get a finals again. I hope.
I think they will.
They should.
Only region to do it is LPL. Man, that's true.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you know who meets each other at Worlds all the time?
Yeah, Korea.
So
And everyone cares more about Worlds. Way more about Worlds.
that's the wild thing. It's like the take that Joe had at the beginning of the year is aging like fine wine. And I hate that
everyone cares more about Worlds.
Yeah, he's like, why the fuck do I care? Like, he explicitly said, like, I don't care if we don't go to first stand. All that matters is that we warm up by the end of the year. And they got their whole shit figured out with Smash. Now they're going to MSI. If they have a good run at MSI, like, they don't have to win MSI. They just need to have a good run. Like, make it the finals, and I think T1 fans are happy at the end of the day. And then if they win Worlds, like, who the fuck cares about how the beginning of this year went? And they did it with Doran. Like,
no, it's for real. That is legitimately, I think, how everybody thinks, like, about League. Like, Worlds is just such a big deal that you gotta just heat up for the end of the year. I mean, winning MSI at this point, I think, is only like... It's only a legacy builder for a Western team.
Yeah. And some other teams might care about the Golden Road, but Joe has explicitly said that T1 does not give a single fuck about the Golden Road. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Well, the Golden Road's over now. I mean, with...
it's been... With Humble Life
how
making it's done.
Well, no, I mean, it's over with, like, 3 splits. I don't think it's possible.
Oh, no, I agree. But at least this year we don't have to worry about it regardless. Like, there's no such thing as the Golden Road.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. At winning MSI as a legacy builder for any non-Faker player, that's a fair point. Well, at this point, let's say any non-T1 player.
I don't know, though. Is it?
When Chovy won his MSI title, that was a big moment.
I don't think Hanwha Life players really need an MSI.
No, they to be okay. That's fair. MSI can be a good stepping stone if you haven't won yet. I think that's the better way of saying it. Because like if you've won Worlds already or if you've won an MSI, it's big. And I love that I Smell Olives brought this back. If you're a team that hasn't won anything or like needs a rebound from the Asia teams, winning MSI is a great step.
Didn't BLG win an MSI last year?
Yeah. Well, no, Gen G won last year. BLG won was it BLG or JDG?
Or was it JDG and then Gen G? It could have been JDG, Gen G.
No, wait. Who beat T1 in the finals? Was that JDG? Or BLG? I don't remember. Jesus.
Let's Google it because it's hard to remember. There's a lot of tournaments in this
Can't
world.
believe he switched sides to FlyQuest. Brother, we're in America.
Yeah, Billy has been second place 2 years in a row.
Wow.
It was Gen G, JDG, RNG twice. That's the past 4 years.
Wow.
Since the break year. So, yeah, I think it's probably a legacy builder. That isn't a bad way to say it, though. That's for everybody but Faker. But I think it is one of those... I don't even know if MSI really is a legacy builder, though.
No,
to me. Like, Chovy won an MSI, and I don't think anybody's really changed their opinion about Chovy?
No,
Did it really
but
sway your idea of him?
yes and no. It shows me that you can get over the line. Is my big thing. Like, even though it's not a Worlds final, it is still a pretty big final. And you have a smaller version of an opening ceremony. Like, it's MSI is your practice for Worlds, pretty much. And while there are exceptions of teams that have gone on runs to win Worlds, I don't think you can ever be a favorite going into Worlds without winning MSI or like being competitive at that tournament. If you have a history of choking internationally and you choke at MSI as well, like,
Yeah. It's just so, yeah. I guess it is a big deal to people. It's just so weird how little MSI matters at the end of the day.
I mean, Esports World
Unless you're
Cup being the
Western,
week
I feel
after
it.
really fucks it.
Yeah, it does now.
Really like, at least for me, because like I'm sitting here, I was doing my content mapping prior to the podcast, and I pretty much got everything set through like August of like timeline of stuff, which is mostly like reaction things based on whenever North America plays. But I'm like, bruh, that like you don't even get to sit there and like take in the moment of MSI. Or if like you lose at MSI and you're any of these teams, it's like, well, fuck it, let's prep for Esports World Cup. There's $2 million more dollars on the line. We got to get ready.
Man. That is, yeah.
Here's what
That is so tough.
I'll bet you any money. There's no way that Riot didn't want Esports World Cup to be like MSI in some capacity. There's no way they didn't, but they just didn't want to deal with the backlash in my mind. There's no way you schedule two events that close to each other otherwise. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. That's, I don't know. I don't know why you have them both, to be honest. Why you don't just merge them.
Well,
At this
I would
point.
not like to merge them because then we lose a tournament, right? Because I do like having another tournament. I want more instead of less. So I'd like to
Yeah.
not merge them. But
You just want to separate them?
I just want more events. Like, I'll tell you, the viewership on my fucking channel is ridiculous in terms of the difference between when we're in season versus the second we get to international stage. Like, I had a whole video just talking about fucking North America shit, and now it's getting 1,000 views again. And it's like, that's only happening because people are starting to tune in for international. Give me more of those fucking events. 100%. But
Yeah, that's something to think about. That's
is.
so much.
and we'll think
That is
about
a
it.
weird format. What'd you think about the casters tweet from Papa?
He's right.
That, like, it
Riot.
just-
Let's be honest. Riot fucked it with the co-streaming thing. They did.
Yeah.
You are entirely
I think
relying
so.
for international events for Cadrel. Like, imagine a world where they don't allow Cadrel to stream. Everything goes fucking bottoms up immediately.
Yeah.
Did I get that bump for first stand? I did. A smaller version, but I did get a bump.
Yeah, I think he is like just right on the money with they have a lot of talent, but what can you do? I mean, the conversation is only going to get worse too as we start to go, hey, unfortunately here, what's the point of an official broadcast at this point to be this decked out? It brings in not much.
I mean, you need the official broadcast.
You do, but if it's starting to become a huge loss, like,
I mean,
What
the
do you do
problem
with it?
is, like, for me, outside of the casting, like, we have to exclude the casting because the casting is a default thing that has to exist. All right, co-streams can't even really use the clean feed. They can, but it's like it's not the same. You need the caster. So like when I talk about the broadcast in this capacity, I want to specifically note that I'm talking about the analyst desk and everything else in between. The analyst desk segments are fucked for the most part. Because like
Yeah.
that is the moment when everybody tunes out of your broadcast. Everybody.
Yep.
Like they naturally did anyways, but like the diehards would sit there and listen to what the analysts were saying and like help fill that gap between games while everybody else is getting up and doing their shit. You just listen to the co-streamers now and the points that they want to make and the conversations that go in between. And it's like I hate it. I miss the days where we were all centralized around one individual point. And like
Yep.
the thing that tipped me off this that like really made me miss it has been watching Love Island. Feeling like you're all collective as a unit, like discussing something and watching it. Even though like it's different watching like a streaming service versus a sport, I get that, but like everybody's like unified in the conversation and unified around points that are being made. Like that,
Yep.
I'm not getting that in League. It feels like the conversation in League is fractured into a bunch of different pieces that have moments where they all come together. But
Yep.
unless you bring the co-streamers onto the broadcast, I don't think you're ever going to get that unity again.
Yeah. I think co-streaming like went exactly how we expected it to go for all the years we talked about it. We talked about how it's going to crush monetization, it's going to crush the main broadcast, and it's going to do great things for co-streamers who hit big.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all that happened. Like, monetization has seemed like this almost impossible thing where Riot has now like almost officially kind of come out and told people like we do this for the love of the game, not to make money. And that's just not going to sustain the esports side. And like co-streaming won't kill League, I guess, but it kind of is in some ways. Like the co-streamers having, because at some point a natural progression for a co-streamer is to get their own team and to co-stream less of everything else.
Yeah.
Which is what most of them try to do. Like with Dom and the SAC stuff.
Well, Dom's now C9. So like
Yeah,
Dom
C9.
Dom has
True.
a team. Like Dom, like that's but that's always been the thing. That's what I've been
Angel's
that's
August, yeah.
literally what we've been saying from the jump is like your general co-streamers will event like because it's natural. Everybody has something that they like.
Yep.
And you will naturally gravitate towards a team or a player or something in that capacity and stick with it for a long period of time. Cagel's now
Yeah.
got his own team, which I mean, hopefully for them they get into the LEC sometime or like a main region sometime in the next like 10 years. Abai's got
Which
his
is
team.
great. Great things. I mean, the thing is too, these are something that can be good because you want local broadcasts aren't a bad thing for teams. During the regular season, it keeps people coming back. You know, the Kometo and the buy streams, all those will not buy anymore, but the Necro stuff or whatever. You have all those streams that go big for teams in LEC, which has made LEC what it is. But I've never seen a sport that has such an issue with prime time like games. And it's kind of this weird thing where League doesn't have a non-prime time game for your team.
Yep.
There isn't a write-off game for the broadcast, like to not cover your team. Like every game they have to cover. There's no reason for you to ever go to the local, whatever you want to call it, the sponsored broadcast of your team. So at that point, if people like a certain team and they just want to tune out of others, then they start going to that broadcast, they tune out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now we get this weird situation where we're like, dude, the main broadcast of almost every league but LCK is like not fundable anymore. And the revenue doesn't make sense. LPL's broadcast already died, which it was already small to begin with, but it's gone and dusted now. What the NA broadcast?
The NA broadcast is
looking like,
is the least viewed of them all.
yeah, it looks like it's on the chopping block almost. If we're being honest, the CB LOL broadcast is dead. It's the streamer, the Biano guy or
Ayano,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that group of people is the CB or my bad, LTA South broadcast.
You
That
can say
is
CB
that.
lol. I'm done trying to
Yeah.
pretend that I'm calling it LTA.
It's- but the South broadcast is a co-streamer. The LEC streams are either what Kameto, Necro, Cadril, or whoever else is streaming, and then LEC is somewhere in there, like
Yep.
fiddling around, but with not much viewership.
Yep.
And the LCK broadcast, I know nothing about because I'm not awake that early, and I'm sorry. But I assume it does well. The English one,
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
It does. It does
Okay.
very, very well.
But that's essentially the only broadcast that is like monetarily, I would say, feasible at this point. And I don't blame the co-streamers
No,
for it.
no, you take the
It's not
advantage
their
given
fault.
to you.
Yeah, they're making the money they can. I really blame Riot not seeing the people popping off and saying we'll pay you as much as we need to get you over here
Yep.
in an official capacity.
Yep.
Like that's where it's because people sit there and go, "Why is Fox Sports paying Tom Brady so much money? This is so stupid." And I do think it's stupid. But guess what? It keeps people on the main thing. And you want to keep the main thing the main thing.
The way I'm trying to think through this, because I think this is a very unique problem to solve on this, because Riot doesn't straight up have the cash to be able to pay broadcast talent, because they're not seeing the revenue that, like, when you look at the revenue makeup of all this, it's sponsors for Riot, but the majority of the money being made from co-streamers is on their own deals and their sub counts that they get from it.
Mm-hmm.
How, as Riot, do you structure a deal to bring them in house that utilizes that? Because if you just bring Cadril and Dom and LS into the broadcast, it's not like those three magically get the money from subscribers that they were looking to get on Twitch when they're on the main channel. Like that's the thing that I'm trying to think through of, like, maybe if you allow them, like, to have basically here's how I think of it. If an analyst is on the desk that day, you allow somebody to stream the official broadcast itself on their channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you let people sub to that person, even though it's like they're watching the same feed on, Cadril's channel as they are on the Riot channel, but you allow them to sub to Cadril and support him directly. Like, you need a way to be able to utilize the subscription part of this and community engagement part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only way that I think you can make this possible, because Riot is not going to be able to pay Cadril what is probably like, what, $1 million, $2 million annually? Like,
Yeah.
Cadril's at this point has to be at least $2 million a year.
It's
At
absurd,
least.
whatever his value is.
Yeah. And it's not like he can be in every place at once, considering he co-streams LCK, LPL, LEC,
Yep.
and now LTA for playoffs. Like, he can't be there to be on those broadcasts. But, like, for international tournaments, he should 100% be on the main broadcast. There's zero reason why he should not be on there. And even if you don't want to pay $2 million to him directly, offer him, $500K, and then he's allowed to get subs from there. But, like, make that a requirement. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's just how do you pay him that much and
That's-
still make money? I don't know what you do here because it's like the Papa situation is like he's right. It's a weird situation, and legacy media has figured it out with sports somewhat. I mean, they're still in a weird spot now where sports is in this weird area of how are we going to move it to streaming and still make money. I mean, who knows, to be honest. But I think the one thing you can honestly feel is somewhere along the line not taking any of the TV deals offered or any of the streaming deals offered is where we cooked ourselves.
Yep.
We essentially diamond hands our numbers to like an astronomical level and then went, no, we're gonna just maintain this because we're that good. And it did not work out. I mean, now it's working out because other people make a ton of money off of their product and they never see any of that cash flow.
Yep. I don't know. It's an impossible
Dave
problem.
can't really talk on that, Lunar. Sadly, I don't think Dave can. Maybe. I would assume the Manning cast is out the window because the only examples we can use is Manning cast, Pat McAfee college football cast. Can't talk about any of those.
Nope.
Because they're all ESPN Plus. So it's kind of like, yep.
I'm not allowed to speak on Disney business on that front.
Yep.
So nope, can't speak on it.
I don't know if Fox or CBS even does anything.
Fox does. I thought they had one simulcast that they were doing, if I'm not mistaken. NBC definitely does not. Amazon technically has like their Twitch thing, but I only know Disney stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. We have streaming
Sounds
deals with the
legit.
CDL and ain't really helping that league. Any money's money. Like, I'm not saying that the CDL wouldn't be better off on Twitch. Obviously it would. But like, how you gonna like that extra viewership does not replace the money that YouTube is getting or that they are getting from YouTube. Like that's the biggest thing that people got to realize is like there is a trade-off that just simply getting money in your pocket can't replace. Period.
Yep.
And there's no right answer to this. Be it like people are going to be upset no matter what the solution moving forward is going to be. And realistically, you can't put the cat in the bag or back in the bag. You can't force K-Droll to do anything, even though Riot has all the power in the world. If Riot sits here and says, "Hey, you can either be on broadcast or you ain't doing shit," right? They could do that, but K-Droll knows he has every bit of leverage and could tank the LoL Esports product overnight if Riot decided to be dicks about that. K-Droll holds the most cards in the LoL Esports ecosystem right now by a wide margin.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, I don't think that's a good thing for the sport in general, but it's good for him.
Great for him.
Great for him.
Overwatch.
I don't know how it's gonna affect us as time goes on. Yeah, Faker does. That's true. Faker could do anything.
You're not wrong on Faker. Yeah.
Moment.
But I think in
didn't
terms
think
of like
about
your
that,
daily esports consumption, no, K-Droll holds more. But YouTube deals killed Overwatch League. No, the Overwatch League killed itself.
I was gonna say,
YouTube
Overwatch
deal
League
had
killed
fucking
Overwatch
nothing
League.
to do with that. Like you can immediately look at the seed or Call of Duty League and the Overwatch League and just say, okay, if you actually have a product that people genuinely care about, they'll still tune in. Call of Duty League,
Yeah.
despite having lower viewership, people still tune in. Major viewership is pretty damn good. Better than
Yep.
LTA. And like that hasn't changed. That number has been consistent for 10 years now. You know exactly what you're getting at this point if you buy it in your Google.
Yeah.
But speaking of buying, I did want to ask you about we got two final topics and we got to be done by 11 o'clock because I got to help Emily with groceries. What are your thoughts on Surdy getting dropped?
Oh, with Dig?
Yep.
I mean, that's just the most Dig sucks thing ever. That's what they do. I mean, Dig is about as dumb as they come. Like, your tweet about it was like my thing of like, no, yeah, like legitimately. When they were like, what do you think of when you see the Dig logo? Like, if you watch League of Legends, you were thinking of Surdy this year.
Yeah. Nobody else in that team
Because
had a brand.
everybody wanted to see Surdy.
Like, he was the reason why I tuned in. for lack of a better word, which I don't know. Did that tweet ratio the original yet? No, it did not. It's getting close. I'm like 80 likes away from ratioing the original tweet.
Yeah. It's, I mean, what else do you think about Dig and League? I mean, all they do is like run through top laners like madmen.
They run through everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what man. Like, here, okay. I'm trying to come up with a scenario where I give Dig any benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
You had to come out and say shit before this gets leaked. Because if we knew that we now know that Surdy got dropped on the Monday of Hotline League last week whenever Surdy was appearing on the show.
That's crazy.
That news didn't leak until what? Thursday, Friday-ish? Bro,
Yeah.
you have to say something. You have to get ahead of it. And, like, give
Yeah.
a reason. Like, even if you think that that's, like, you're not trying to destroy Surdy's career, like, he can fight back, do whatever, but, like, bro, why would any player go to your org now? Like, I get it's a job, it's an opportunity. I'm not denying that portion of it, but, like, dude, what good is this team right now in this league? And that's nothing against the fucking staff that I know that works there. I love Matt, who's in their sales and sponsorship team. That's obviously nothing to do with like day-to-day operations of League of Legends, which is specifically handled by their GM, their coach, and beyond. What the fuck are we doing? How do they still have their jobs?
I really don't know, bro. I don't know what the point is of Dig anymore. Like, they're not building a roster that can compete, really. And Photon, we saw him in the past in LEC. He wasn't like, I don't want to say he's terrible, but he's not that good to get rid of Surdy mid-season. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what is the point of this? Like, you just killed all good faith you could have possibly had, but you don't have much with NA fans. And you keep your bottom lane that looks terrible.
Yeah.
And this is your move. Like, this is the one thing they chose to do of all the things. Like, nobody really, from what I understand, nobody's like watching Dig to see Shaden, to see Tomo and Isles. Nobody really cares about their mid laner. I don't even remember his name.
Kane.
What is it? Kaney, yeah. Like, what else are you like?
The reason why
What's the point of it?
I don't understand this. Like, here's the thing. If Dignitas was in Disguise's shoes, I would completely get this move.
Yeah.
I would. Like, it would make sense from that lens because you are fighting to keep your slot. And if there's a direct upgrade to Surdy right now, fine. You keep your slot in the LTA. That's assuming that you have such little faith in your fucking coaching staff to develop players, which I think that's like a whole other part of this of like you have zero faith in your systems to be able to develop a player at all. That you are entirely reliant upon bringing somebody else in that's already good to hopefully win you something. But like, you're not. Your spot's secured. You have equity in the league. You don't need to bring in an immediate upgrade that's never going to win you a fucking title. What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is, there's no advantage to this really, other than like instead of 6, you think you're gonna place 5th or 4th at best. They're not a top 3 team.
They've never finished above 5th since coming back in playoffs.
Like, there's really, I have no thoughts of what Dig even does here. Like, and yeah, they're saying they aren't even 100 Thieves where they can auction players off. Like, 100 Thieves could at least try to get some buyouts. which they won't, not in this economy. But their Dig is just like, what is your purpose here anymore? Like, nobody watches a Dig game. I have no idea how their YouTube does, but I'm gonna assume it's under $1,000 a video.
And no,
Nobody
their
really.
YouTube wasn't bad last time I checked.
Oh yeah, they had the deal with Sylvix.
I don't know
right?
if Silvix is still doing it, but
Oh, okay. I mean, they're so under watched and cared about. I think it's one of those like they do not matter.
yeah, never mind. I fell off. It's like under 1,000 typically.
Yeah, I mean, what were they averaging when it was higher?
Like 2K.
Yeah, okay. Like that's not enough to pay an editor, bruh.
No.
I don't know what they are doing, like where their path to viability is, or making some real money, or what they could even do to get any better. It just feels like they're cooked.
Yeah. What's gonna piss me off so much is if Dig is still in the league next year and 100 Thieves is out.
It wouldn't be shocking.
It wouldn't be shocking, but like, if that happens, I'll be honest with you, like, it would take multiple things for me to lose entire faith in our fucking region. And just like, I know we've had this conversation of just like at that point saying, fuck it, I'm going to support somebody else. If 100 Thieves gets removed, if the LCS brand doesn't come back, and Dignitas is still fucking here with zero repercussion, and there's no road shows, like if the road shows don't change, like if there's no like homestands, things like that, fucking Joe Marsh chirping in my ear saying, "What? Come watch how a real region does road shows," pissed me off. But not in like I'm angry at him for saying it. It pissed me off so fucking much that when he said that, I felt like I immediately got angry at every team.
Mm-hmm.
I was so fucking mad. I was like, ugh.
When they fulfill your lists next year, and you still pick another team, I'm gonna chuckle.
Pick a North American team.
Yeah, but they're
no. I'm telling you right now, if all four of those things happen, I'm committing to T1 fully.
Really?
If all four of those things happen, if we don't get more road shows and no promise of them in any way, shape, or form, if 100 Thieves is kicked out, if Dig is still in, and it's not rebranded to the LCS, if those four things happen, I'm investing every waking moment I have into T1.
All your friends would love to see that because it would be good for the brands, but I think
because then there's no future for this fucking region. Like that to me, if those four things happen right then and there, like you have shown me that we are fucking doomed. Like it is not repairable. Yeah. It's not ever going to happen. You don't have the people in charge. You don't have anything else there. Like that to me is my signal.
I think the writing's been on the wall for a minute, but I mean, I don't think
those four things happen. I have faith.
In what? Which one?
That 100 Thieves will stay.
Road shows?
That road shows will start to happen. And that the LCS is coming back. The Dignitas one, I don't think we can do anything about. But like the other three, I have faith that next year things will start to happen. I have zero reason for that at all. It's pure blind delusion and optimism.
What's your definition of road shows? Like one final in NA?
No, I want at least 3 roadshow events next year.
In NA?
In NA.
Oh man, okay, this actually is a gambit then. I was thinking the roadshows one you could cop out because you could be like
3.
They did a finals here. You want 3?
3. That could be a dream hack. That could be like a 2,000 person arena outside of LA. 3 events outside of LA next year.
Yeah, good luck. I just don't think. I think NA is kind of cooked, bro. In that sense, I mean the Dig doing this again and LCS being like, or LTA North being like, hey, there's not much we can do, you know, this is how it is. It's like, yeah, bro, you kept them. Like, you're picking them over 100 Thieves, who I get. 100 Thieves has said some dumb stuff. but their brand is genuinely bigger than Diggs. Like, actually is. Like, we're just holding on to Dignitas. Like, there's something there, and it just blows me away.
By the way, I just realized that this gets even more complicated next year for that 3 split thing, or for the 3 roadshow thing.
Yeah, because they're going to Brazil.
Brazil finals or LTA finals in summer are in Brazil, and first stand finals are in Brazil,
Mhm.
and Worlds is in North America.
I also, like, I struggle with that the roadshows happening because we just haven't been able to figure it out. One, 100 Thieves getting the boot. I think the writing is on the wall there, but I have no idea who is taking
Who
the
Riot?
100
Yeah,
Thieves
who
club
Riot's going to
as
give it to?
worth
Yeah,
anything.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about all of it. Like, I mean, it has been tough with Dig, especially from my perspective, watching all the teams I have that I've liked to leave, or also like seeing the way they pushed out big brands. Like CLG started to fall, and because of MSG, and they sell them to NRG, and Riot just kind of let NRG leave like it was nothing.
Yep.
Which essentially we lost the CLG brand. They didn't try to get the MSG brand to sell it to somebody who would just take the CLG brand and revitalize it. If we're being real, they kind of pushed TSM out. Like,
They did.
and like everyone's like, oh, good, TSM's gone. But like when you watch them just kind of kill two of the bigger brands and have no idea what to do after that, like they had no leadership stance to really help the teams who they pushed TSM out for to get bigger.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those I don't know what we're doing here. Like, what is the plan?
I would
here?
love to be a fly on the wall in the owners' meeting, as Steve is probably, Steve's losing his mind at some of these guys.
Yeah. Because I mean, Shopify like taking TSM slot, Energy taking CLGs. I would say that's been a failure so far in the sense Shopify doesn't have a brand, even though I am a fan of Shopify. I
It's
don't think our
building, but
brand is
it's not
doing
1-to-1.
great. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's just not there. And then NRG left.
Nope,
The
reconnection.
YouTube is still going.
Yeah, the reconnect I think it happened. I think it's back live. Yeah, I think it's live. Which is tragic though,
Okay.
because then the end of the podcast will get cut off, and now there's going to be another notification in my fucking Twitch feed, which is tragic.
Nice.
But
There is.
yep.
Nice.
But
What were you gonna say though?
to close it out real quick, R.I.P. Umpty.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to that. We have to give that a real talking next week.
We will. We'll
Because yeah, that is unfortunate.
I mean, the writing was so on the wall. I
It
mean, it
was. And
sucks
at
how
least
it
we
happened.
know
I'm glad he
he
got to tell a story, but like we all knew.
yeah. And at least we know it's not something where like either of them were rude.
Yeah.
Like it's an amicable relationship leaving.
Yep.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's just one of those things that had to happen.
Yeah. We'll go in
Yeah.
depth more on that, I guess. There's no sense like it with only 4 minutes remaining.
Yep.
No sense. Is there anything else that I'm missing headline wise?
Oh. No, other than MSI coming up, but we're saving that for next week.
Yep. We'll preview the play-in stage. I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be much to preview there yet, but we'll see. I think that's pretty much every headline. I think we touched on all of it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have time to talk about it too much, but it was funny. The draft idea happened that me and Khan talked about a while back.
Wait, what draft idea?
A PCS team picked 4 top laners in game 1
Oh yeah.
of a
No,
series and won 3-0.
and save that for next week because I want to see if like one thing I want to do is I want to do some homework on are there any teams that you can realistically do that at MSI? That I don't know, but
Yeah.
all right, we'll call that there, ladies and gentlemen. I know with the reconnect, it's kind of odd timing, kind of
Yep.
sucked there. But any final words?
Go Sirs. One of my buddies texted me during this and sent a tweet that somebody posted that's so bad, but he said the final sacrifice for the Pacers was always going to be Halliburton's ACL and for them to finish the job. That's pretty funny, but
Is he
I
officially
still
out, by the
believe.
way, or still game time?
Nah, he's questionable now. They keep moving him up and stuff. He's playing because he wants to, bro.
Yeah.
He ain't playing because he should. I'm worried about his knees, to be honest, and his ligaments. But it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, it's fine. What are you gonna do?
He wants to win so bad that it's very expected that this is what he's gonna do, and I just really hope he does not rip anything.
Yep.
This late in the year, that would be terrible.
Because he missed all of next year if that happened.
Yep.
But I will end it on this. One day I will get to talk about fully a conversation I had that I'm going to talk about with Paul here off stream in a minute. But Emily and I talked about everything. Hopefully, the only thing that could possibly conflict is like if we were to have a kid. But I am planning on 100% going to Korea for the first time ever next year.
Big.
I'm looking forward to.
Big.
Which I feel like you have to do if you're going to be in low esports. You got to go out to Korea at some point.
Yep.
So that'll be fun to go out there and do all that. But I wonder if I'll be able to post on TikTok in Korea. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Sure.
Anyways, that's going to be it for us. I got to go help the wife carry groceries. So we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.